Hello, welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you have never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. Excuse my voice if it cracks in spots. I have some water here to help because I've had no voice for like almost 2 weeks now, and it's been very frustrating. Today we're doing biscuits and sausage gravy. You could make like homemade biscuits here. You could buy already made biscuits here. You could put sausage gravy without biscuits. You could just put it right on eggs. It's delicious. You could put it on like a chicken cutlet. Sausage gravy has so many great applications. I just personally, first of all, love an excuse to do that. Hello. I mean, I don't know about you, but I love biscuits and gravy. So what are you gonna do? I have my favorite extra large jelly roll pan. Honestly, this is like the most versatile. I've been trying to put together a kitchen essentials for you. This is definitely one of them. I've linked this very particular one because this is my favorite one in my Amazon storefront for you, so that you can grab it for yourself. But you can give such great spacing. It cooks everything incredible. I already have a video in my playlist showing you how to make little link pork breakfast sausages. This is, when you see sausage in the grocery store that looks like this is loose. So this is not in casing. So I heard a lot of comments on that last video saying I cut the casings off. Well, if you cut the casings off just by this is already the sausage that's inside of those with the casing cut off. And it comes in the maple flavor, just like the sausages do. This also comes in hot, it comes in original. I like the maple because I like a little bit of sweet. But you can choose whatever sausage that you like. We're talking a lot about kitchen staples. Here's another one. I have a pair of scissors that are just for the kitchen. I use them to cut pizza into slices. I use them to cut open packages of meat. So I make sure that they get washed and sanitized just as if they were knives. So keep a pair of scissors. If you buy a knife block, there usually is a pair of scissors in that knife block, and that's what they're for. They're for the kitchen only. Don't use them to open boxes. Don't use them for other things because you don't want any type of like cross-contamination. Just use them for cooking. Our handy dandy tool, and the only way that I have ever found to open these. So I just cut this metal end off, and then you can see inside is the sausage sort of like loose in the casing. So sometimes I cut this open and I pull it out, but you can also like squish it out like a tube of toothpaste into your large frying pan. I'm gonna start this on medium-high heat. You watched my other gravy video, which should be in the playlist tagged at the bottom. You remember that we added fat and flour together to make a roux, which is how we thickened our gravy. This is really no different. This sausage obviously has meat, but it also has fat. So as this sausage starts to break down and brown, it's gonna release fat. And so fat plus flour is roux, and roux plus liquid is gravy. So that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna build a gravy in a very similar way as we did before. Just this time, the fat, instead of being butter, is gonna be the sausage fat. A lot of people are intimidated of raw meat and sausage and worried they're not going to cook it through. Using a crumbled up sausage like this is a great way because you can literally see if it's cooked through, right? You can see where it's pink and you can see where it's brown. So we're going to cook this, we're browning it up, getting it a little bit crisp up and brown, and we're releasing fat. As we go, the fat is starting to release into the pan, and that's what we're going to use to make our... Now, how far you take this browning is totally up to you. Like right now, I have no more pink. So this sausage is cooked and it's ready to go. But I like it a little bit of crispy brown bits. So I'm probably gonna let it go another second or two. Okay, this sausage is seasoned. It has a ton of flavor in it. It has a ton of salt in it. So could you season this? Of course, you can always add seasonings of your choice. Me personally, I don't think that this needs much more seasoning. Once the gravy is made, I'll give it a taste, and I'll add salt and pepper there if it requires. But if you were using ground beef, this wouldn't have that much flavor, but this sausage is loaded with seasonings and salt. I'm where I want to be, so I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, and I'm going to sprinkle the sausage with flour. I wish I could tell you how much. I don't know. I started with a 1/4 cup just so I could try to kind of measure for you. But basically, you just want to cover all of the meat with flour. The more flour you use, the thicker your gravy will be. The flour has now soaked up all of that grease that was in the bottom, and you just want to cook out the flour for a minute or two, just like we did with the other gravy. just so you don't have that raw flour taste. We're gonna add milk, okay? What I do is I eyeball it. I pour a little milk in, I stir it around. This is where personal preference really comes in. Your gravy can be as thick or as thin as you like it. You can add more milk if you want it to be thinner. As it came to a boil, it got really thick. I've added a little bit more milk. I've used about half of a half-gallon container for that one package of sausage. You can see it's starting to turn brown. It's gloriously thick and delicious. We are here. We have light brown color, even though this is our white gravy. We're gonna give it a taste to see if it needs any seasonings. Oh, it looks beautiful. Okay, let's give it a taste. See where we're at. Always use a clean spoon. Don't use the spoon you're cooking with. Seasoning was perfect, but I like a little pepper, so I just put a little fresh ground pepper over top. Delicious. All right, let's get ready to build this into our biscuits and gravy. Okay, you like it thinner? Add milk. You like it thicker? Less milk, okay? We're gonna build it. We're gonna take our biscuit, split it in half like this. Delicious. And we're just gonna take a big old scoop of this. Put it right over top. Oh, look at that. Glorious. You could top this with a fried egg. Oh, that would be totally delicious. You know we have to taste it, right? I already taste the gravy, but you can taste it with the biscuit. It's so hot. That's a stick to your ribs comfort meal. You could totally serve this for dinner. Throw a fried egg on top.